Hey there, I'm Randy Baps from UXstars.com, and today I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look at setting up a booth on Airmeet. So, here we are in May of 2021, and as I understand it, at this point, Airmeet is one of the top providers for virtual conferences. So, I'm going to take a look because I temporarily have a booth and I want to see what the user experience is like for setting that up. All right. Thank you, Debbie, for giving me a booth here for helping out at the conference. I'm going to click on Event. All right. I see this little gray loading screen. A little room for improvement. I think they could show something a little bit more impressive than that while things load. Small point. Okay, and then okay, it automatically then says, okay, the event is live. It's going to launch me like into the event. Now, something that I found a little surprising that was the first time I went in, it let me like set up my camera and everything. Like, oh hey, what camera do you want to use? Oh, what microphone? And then like, now it's just like throwing me in. So if I wanted to change that, I'm a little confused as the user. Like, there was this setting area before, but now it's just like, all right, let's go in. So I'm kind of like, well, where is that even if I wanted to tweak it? Okay, we'll let that go for now. So, okay, here is Randy's UX Stars booth. Now, I thought it was a little peculiar that there were so many tables. I mean, maybe if I was a giant corporation, but I'm like, okay, how about like maybe one? I don't know if users are seeing different tables. Like, is that a good thing? Because I mean, like, what is the etiquette? Like, if they see somebody at this table, are they supposed to go to another table? I think I could. Can I change the name of these tables? Um, I don't know. We'll just okay. Uh, Heuristic Evaluations. Oh, hey, look! I can add a little table image. That's nice. I like that. There's a graphical component in case I have a certain topic. I think the contrast could really be improved here with the gray on gray. Um, there's no need for having it so small and so light gray on gray. Um, let's see how many seats. Oh, only 8 people at the table. Interesting. Fixed or expanding? Oh my, so it's more customization than I would think. Uh, I'm not really understanding what that even means though. Like, fixed? I don't know. I don't think that's too important to me. So I'm gonna say save. Oh, all right. So no, I could have different topic areas. So if I was a company, maybe I'd have different departments, or maybe I'd have different types of people that I was thinking about hiring, and then that would give the people an idea of where they should go to. All right, I'm getting it. I kind of would like to be able to like delete the tables that I'm not going to use though, just to like remove any confusion of where people should go. Right? If I just am going to have 2 tables, I'd like to just do that personally. Okay, connect on tables. What's going to happen if I say connect on tables? Okay, okay, just scrolling down. I thought something more significant was going to happen when I clicked on that button. It just looks so like, hey, now things are, yeah, there's going to be something big that happens. All right, so I have many options here to actually edit my booth. All right, so I really like that they gave the people who have booths the ability to tweak them. Right? It's nice to have this as self-service because, say I emailed my logo to the host and things like that, and then they're trying to get the conference together, and I said, no, I want you to use this other version of the logo. And, why do they need that kind of hassle? And this way I, have it under my control. Okay, so here we are where we've got the logo. Um, if I click to remove my logo, this is interesting because here they'll give me this guidance. Oh, 400 pixels by 96 pixels. First off, that's kind of particular. it's interesting. I like it when you have the ability to zoom in on something, especially for something like a banner, right? Like I don't want to crop the top of the star and things like that. Get things just right. So it's questionable if you should hide help guidance that becomes invisible once somebody adds something, because maybe I want to change my logo and then I'm like, oh yeah, what were those specifications, and I can't see it till I remove the current one. So I'm going to add back my logo. It takes a little bit here. It's uploading it. It's thinking about it. It would be better to have some kind of thing showing me that something was going on. At first, it looks like nothing's going to happen. Okay, let's take this banner out of play here. All right. Okay, I took the banner away. Now, I believe that there were only also certain file types, too. I think it only took JPEGs and vectors. So, I think I tried to add some other. Let's what happens if I try to add a ping for the banner. Okay, never mind. I must have, unless they made an update. I thought they limited it somehow on what kind of things I could put there. But I guess it's working now. Or maybe that was another system. So we'll go ahead and make sure we actually put the banner in the banner spot. Again, I would like it if there was some more flexibility on the actual banner here, right? In both the size, right? As well as the resolution. And then maybe I put it there and then you let me zoom in on it so I can crop it to fit in with things. Did click the open button, didn't I? Is something happening? Again, a little status here would be helpful, but oh, it's happening. All right, the banner is restored. Okay, now I don't understand these tags. Like, where did these tags come in? And like, why can't I add tags? And maybe that was added when I requested the booth. It's not a huge deal, but it's on the page, and so since everything else is editable, the editable web page, the editable, web page, I can't control these, and so it's just so weird because I can change the tables, I can change the links, but like I can't change the tags. Like it's just confusing because everything else can be changed. I don't know why I couldn't add my own tags and edit them. Okay, moving on down the line here. We've got the booth layout. Now, I was really complex. It was confusing to see this. Okay, nice to have choices where layout comes into play. But, like, what is this? Like, is this somehow... This is, like, a meaningless graphic to me. Like, I guess, is this maybe supposed to represent the banner spot? Oh, yeah, okay, and this is the logo, but I don't know. Somehow this graphic isn't quite clicking with me. Maybe because it's so small and because, like, nothing is labeled, But personally, it just looked like some graphic jammed in there, but I do see that it does sort of line up somewhat with the way the page is now. So, okay, interesting. Now they have a custom here. And so... Let's see what kind of freedom we have to change things around. Create your booth. Select an object from the right and drag it over here. Okay, so we've got a drag and drop interface. I tend to like drag and drop. In a lot of sites, if I click on those things, these are like handles, right? I think that we'd call that an affordance saying, oh, this is something I can pull. Okay, so nothing really great's happening there. Now, look what happens if I go and I go a little bit to the right. Oh, now it's a hand. That's like weird. Because like I expect this to be the grab bar from other UIs that I've been in. So that's not consistent with what I think is going to happen. Okay, so I can add a background image, like as opposed to a banner. I'm like already feeling a little bit lost because I'm like, okay, a background image, like, like upload a background image. Oh, here's where it's saying, oh, you must choose a JPEG or a PNG. Oh, now I can go up to 10 megabytes. And yeah, now it's still being picky about the resolution. All right, so upload. Okay. Oh, I gotta click on this, and I don't know, I'll just pick one here. Oh, now we're getting a status thing here. That's good. That's telling me something's happening. And it's a little weird that I did that, and now I have an upload button. It's like, well, but it's there. But okay, I guess it's what I'm supposed to press. I like to sort of finalize it. I would think that that might say apply, right? Like, see up here it says apply. Okay. Oh, it's cropping off the side. I had no control over how big this was. I guess if I had gone and made sure I went into a graphic editing program, that I could then get the things aligned just right. But see, not everybody's going to have a graphic editing program who's editing these booths, right? It might just be a single speaker. They're not necessarily going to have a marketing team or something to arrange all this for them. So, while I do appreciate the effort to give people an ultra customized setup, I'm already starting to doubt that a lot of people wouldn't just like run from this, because they might just be like, I've never used this Airmeet before, and maybe I'll just use the custom booth. I don't know. So I wonder how many people venture into here and really want to tweak it. Going into the links area. Oh, that's right. It's drag and drop. So can I put a link up here? You know, I'll just stick in Google for the heck of it. Or, you know what? I'll stick in my own website. UX stars. All right. Enter external URL. UX star. Okay, I gotta start with the HTTP or HTTPS. Now that's interesting right away. Well, yes, there's red text and that can be a little hard to read. But okay, it's being all picky with me about how to start things off. Like, why wouldn't it just, it would be kind of nice if it started with HTTPS. I guess some websites are secure and some aren't, so maybe they have reasonings there. HTTPS www. You know, it's like I just expect to be able to type uxstars.com and have it like figure things out. Add it. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, for heaven's sakes. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely thinking about running for the hills now. Okay, I added the link, but in my layout here, I don't even see the text I wrote until I like do a hover and I see like a tooltip. So like if I have all kind of links, I'm gonna have to have hover over each one, and yeah, that's gonna be tedious. Like I don't know why I wouldn't just say the name like here visibly, and you know, I'm also not getting an impression for like, okay, well, how will this appear to the users, right? Are they going to just see like a little paperclip in space? That's not going to fly with them. It's kind of like, you know, like if I add another link here, I don't know, just out of Google. You know what? I'll add my other website, UX Inspections. I'm happy to inspect your websites for you as well. I can do a much more in-detail report, sticking to heuristics when I need to. So, yes, https://www.uxinspections.com. All right, so if I click add on this one, oh, for heaven's sakes, it's not looking like I have a bunch of links. It's starting to look like there's a bunch of UFOs flying around in space. This is not. Yeah, there's room for some improvement on being able to do this. I think, yeah, sure, if you had a developer doing this or a dedicated marketing department that frequently did this, but I think they'd still get annoyed that they couldn't see the labels on the UI. I mean, I guess maybe, I don't know, is this component like sort of in an MVP mode to sort of see what people use or don't even use before they invest time in it, maybe? I really don't think a lot of people are going to come in here and be like, all right, I customized my booth. Let's rock this. I can't control the sizing of this. I can't see this. I can't control the layout. if I add a video, all right, well, I'm not even gonna add a video for right now. I'm just gonna run. We're gonna say cancel this. Let's go back to default. I think that what might be more practical is maybe having like one or two or maybe three different choices of booth configurations, right? And instead of being all like, abstract, like, show them like in a picture, an example booth, and then maybe they can choose what they want. There may be different types of topics that lend themselves to different booth structures. Maybe schools versus companies, maybe have some kind of suggested layout. I don't know. But at the same time, I'm conflicted about letting people customize their booth too much because, as the users go through the booths, if they know where to look for things, they're going to be less frustrated because they're going to sort of learn how these booths operate. So, that's a catch-22. Is it worth letting people customize a booth at all? Because that adds to differences and inconsistency in the booth layouts. I'm not sure. That would be something you could research further. Are there valid reasons to let people customize booths? What kind of customizations do people look for? And do those really help users? That would be something to consider. Video to play at booth. Enter video link. Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'm a little not sure if I want to go ahead and do this. Like, do I want to like is it going to like blast people with a video if I stick it right in here? And worse than that, if I've got a YouTube video, is it going to first show them some other advertisement for my advertisement? I mean, for corporate stuff like this, I think you probably would want to look more professional and have a video link to one of your own sources. And even then, I would be more comfortable with a tile where people could trigger the start of the booth playing on their own, right? Is this just going to blast people with a video when they open the booth? Oh, hey, there's a little info button. Add a promo video. You can embed a link from video sharing platforms such as YouTube or Vimeo. Yeah, but is it going to autoplay and all? I don't know. I didn't really look into that because I didn't have a video at this time catered to that. I think there's great potential for having a featured video, but I kind of want that to be in the layout of something people can play if they'd like to, not just start. I'm not exactly sure how that works. Maybe I'll take a look at that later. Your partner in transcending. Oh, you know what? Okay, here we go. I'm going to stick in a video here and see what happens. Because I want to see if I can do this all in one take instead of chopping it up. Okay, yeah, here's a inspection video I did. So I'm going to copy it. I love doing UX inspections or UX audits, whatever you want to call them. So we're going to pop this in here. I think it's pretty slim chance somebody's going to hop in the booth right now anyway. I'm going to save the booth and then see what happens. What happened to my video? Doesn't if I reload site. Yes. I was just closing my YouTube there. Okay, so what? I mean, I added the video. Where is it? How are users going to experience this? Oh, here it is. It's up here. Oh, no. Okay, so depending on your banner, the fact that this is a video is going to become more or less apparent. You got to be careful with these kind of overlay controls, right? If I had a white sky here, it would be completely invisible. So yeah, that's something to watch out for. I expected it to either come over as a pop-up, which I'm not saying is a good idea, or possibly, be in a part of the template. But it's taking over the banner. So let's see what happens if I hit play. Oh, it's Oh, but I'm muting myself.
The UX and usability.
Now that's interesting. I wonder if it mutes the video by default, which would be a little weird because then there might be people who are just like, oh, I went to your booth and there was no sound on the video. I mean, if somebody hits the play button on a video, they're gonna want to hear the sound most likely. Um, yeah, so I think if you're gonna take over the banner, you got to be more careful with making sure that this transparency is kind of nice when it works out, but with the unpredictability of knowing what my banner looks like, I wouldn't try to make a transparent widget over it. Um, okay, fine. I see the idea of trying to maybe conserve some screen space and put the video there. Fine, but I wouldn't make it a transparent. Um, okay, but it's nice that there's like a single promo video that I could attach to this whole thing. And all right, going back to the booth. All right, so video to play at the booth. All right. Now it's interesting that I could upload other things, but I had to do a link to the video. But videos can be huge, so maybe they have certain space limitations and all. All right, short description. This was a really short description. Just enough for a tagline, but a lot of taglines are super short anyway. I would have liked if the full description was a little bit longer. I had trouble. I wanted to stick a few things in there, like, sorry if I'm not at my booth. These are the hours I'll be at my booth. Like, I kind of wanted to compensate for the fact that there was no way to tell users when I was going to be at my booth. Like, are people showing up and being like, yo, I went by Randy's booth and he wasn't there. He doesn't care about the customers. Oh my gosh. No, I do. But like, it would be nice if I could say, hey, at this time I'll be at my booth, and then maybe somehow, like, when I go to my booth, maybe it would make that apparent to folks, and then maybe they'd be more likely to come to my booth, right? Because if you're at a real conference that's physical, in-person conference, you're gonna see when people are at certain booths, right? And then you're gonna be more likely to stop by them. But I think that that's missing from this whole setup, and I think that if you knew when people were going to be at booths and you knew when people were at booths, whether people were at your booth or whether people knew that you were hosting your own booth and live at the moment, there would be more awareness about, the status of these booths and when to go visit them. Okay, yeah. Again, what's up with the squishy little boxes here? I hate when I have to type inside these boxes and you're like, it's 2 paragraphs and you have to give me a scroll bar, right? And I got all this space here and like all this, it's just, what these kind of things lead to is typing it out in another program and copying and pasting it in, because nobody likes to type so that they're living in a tiny little box because you're more likely to have typos if you're going up and down and up and down. I have no idea why a little red dot appeared. Oh, Grammarly. Oh, it's trying to help me out. It's nice that Grammarly's still working in here. Okay, it's yay. It's quite an improvement. Congratulations to me. I added a comma. Going down, we've got our resources. I liked this section. Okay, great. It's like I can add my most important links, and this section made a lot of sense to me. I could see them. Okay, it was sometimes I had to shorten things. UX insp instead of UX inspection, consultation. Fine. I'd like a little more space to play with there, folks. Give me like 50 characters maybe. And again, that's something you could look into as far as how much do users really need for meaningful link names. But what annoyed me here was I initially didn't put these in the right, okay, UX stars community. Well, this thing is UX stars, so it's I'm like, oh, maybe I should have put that at the top. Oh, what happened to the whole drag and drop interface now? I want to move it up. I can't. So then I gotta delete, add, and I have to remove things to get things in the order I want, and that gets old real fast. You should ideally be able to just move around the order on these links. I think that would make things significantly easier to use. Nice that they have social links here. Um, Anytime you're gonna have social links, though, guess what? You're gonna leave somebody else out. Like, some people are really super big on Clubhouse right now, right? But that's missing. Maybe some people are more on. I don't want to talk on the phone. Had to happen before the end of the recording, right? Maybe some people are big on Instagram. That's missing. And so I've seen this in other different systems before, where. So help me. Shh. Okay. Where a system wants to give you social links ready baked, and then they're like, I don't know, they just randomly chose like 4 or 5 they thought were like popular, and it's like, why not give people a little wiggle room there? I guess they could go and add like their little Clubhouse link up above, but it's like, if you're gonna go into this, I think you got to do a little bit more research to understand what options are out there if you want to let people automatically add the icon for them. Okay, but I mean, in short, I like that there is an automatic booth choice here. I like that I can customize it myself. I like the types of options they gave me: social links versus other links, a short and a long description. I can tell that like they put a lot of thought into what should be here. Booth custom layout, it just doesn't feel like it's ready for prime time. I wonder how many people even really want to do that. Or maybe they just like to choose from a few options. I'd like more control over the banner logos. Like if you go and you were to look at some of the booths right now, there are some folks who don't have a banner up, and perhaps they were busy and they didn't have a graphics program on them or whatever, and they, maybe they got frustrated when they added certain banner images and they got cropped funky, right? And so then they don't have a banner to attract people to their booth, right? So I think that there's a significant room for improvement, especially with the banner, where you should let people be cropping in on that. And yeah, you want to be careful about how the logo is presented as well. So yeah, this whole conference is live right now, but like, nobody came to my booth during this time that I'm aware of. Yeah, and that brings up another good point. I would like some kind of analytics after this whole thing to be like, okay, could you maybe tell me how many people visited my booth during the whole conference? Like, like that would give me some impression of how many people came to the booth. 5, 10, 15, 20, I don't know. That'd be really helpful. And it would be, even more helpful if they showed me like, hey, what they clicked on or looked at. But even just a mere counter of this many people came to your booth, I mean, look what if you do that, then all of a sudden you have, you've sort of demonstrated some value in this whole booth thing, right? If I came to this conference and I'd be like, oh, I invested time setting up the booth, setting up the banners, setting up the links, and I got 50 people to come by, then I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll hear from them next week and we'll do business. I don't know, but it would be nice if there was something that said, hey, this many people checked out your booth. If that number was really low, maybe I'd be like, ooh, I got to change the banner. Like, I got to change something about the tagline to make it more enticing. Maybe I got to put in the tagline, like, see, at a lot of conferences, people love the freebies, right? And that's completely absent from these booths, right? In this virtual world. At least as far as, seeing all the swag that you can put in the bags at those physical conference. So I tried to put in, hey, get a free consultation for a UX inspection there. But I think that the draw to like say, why is it worth a user's time to visit a booth? When they see these booths, do they understand that it's something to visit, or do they just think it's just a wall of advertisements? I'm like, what's in it for them to click in and click in more? I wonder how many people are going to these booths. I wonder if there's any kind of stats on that. I'd be really curious to see how users are reacting to that. I have no idea if anybody's coming to this booth. Like, did I set this up for a meaningful reason? I mean, I love the option that I have, but I just wondered, are people being driven to it in any way? Anywho, those are my thoughts here on the current state of the Airmeet booths and whatnot. Um, you know, consider this a time capsule. Things could be completely different in a few months or a year, but it's interesting to see the state of things right now as the world opens up to more of this virtual networking and virtual conferences. Farewell. Again, this is Randy Baps from UXstars.com and UXinspections.com. And I'm happy to go through and inspect your website, make much more detailed reports, helping you to prioritize the most pressing issues to change on your website for different business matters, trying to understand what could help generate more revenue for you and what could be more meaningful to your customers. Anyway. Also, I'm always around on LinkedIn, so happy to meet with you there. Ta-ta.